What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate, reverse, rant, no hate. So I want you guys to listen to this interview with Robert Garcia. I want to point out some things he said and add my views to what I see with this fight. And it's not long. I don't think I'm listening to the whole thing. It's 5 minutes, it's 20 seconds, but just pay attention.
Robert, the biggest secret that was kept moving forward was being in the corner with Joshua. Saw some interviews and you were talking about how you were going back and forth since December with Joshua. Even when he went to go visit, the training camp, people were like, is Joshua going to pick him? Is Joshua going to pick these other trainers? Ronnie Shields was one, Adrian Nelson was another one, obviously yourself. And now it's concrete. You're going to be in Joshua's corner. You have 14 world titles with various different fighters. How's the chemistry going with Joshua at this moment going into the rematch with Usyk?
Well, you know what? So far, it's been great. Since last December when I was there, and then one more time early in the year, and now I've been there for 5 weeks. Everything's going great, man. He wants to. He knows how important this fight is. He just did a new deal with the zone, and that deal, is huge. If but he has to win. So he knows the importance. He wants to win. He's mentally ready. He's training hard, and we're gonna go out there and do our job, man.
What are the attributes that you see? Like you say, you're gonna go out there and do the job. What are the attributes that you see in him that you can elevate a little bit more? Because at this point of his career, can't really change much, but you can just adapt a little bit more, right? So, what are the best attributes that he has that you can elevate?
He's way bigger. He's got a reach advantage. He's got height advantage, weight advantage, and he's got tremendous power, man. He's got crazy power. So why not? He's pretty much got everything in advantage. The only thing might be his, his head. He's got to be a little more positive about himself. I think he's got a lot of advantage. So just just go out there and take, take whatever it takes. Like I said, height, power, strength, reach, whatever it takes. I think that's what he needs to do.
Eddie Hearn said that yesterday, that when they both, throughout the week, or the first face-off that they had, that you saw Usyk and Joshua in the face-off, and you were just staring at Usyk and Joshua, and I think you told Robert, like, why isn't Joshua using his height advantage, his reach? Like, that's the advantage. It's a big difference.
If you see right now, we still got 2 months before the fight. Usyk still looks a little like whooped up. I don't know if he did it purposely to be strong and heavy in the fight, or if he's just been out of shape. He's been in his country for a few months, because of the war and all that. So I don't know. It depends. If he's gonna work to get in shape, well then he's got a lot of work to do. But if he built himself to be stronger, then we're gonna have a solid fight, man. Because he's also very talented.
Eddie Hearn said Usyk doesn't like getting hit in the body. Possibly, that could be the game plan. You don't have to go too much in depth with it, but Joshua, easier said than done, needs to come forward, add the pressure from round one and on. I believe that's what's going to be one of the assets for the victory.
We're not prepared for that, but not necessarily. I think Joshua has a great jab with a solid right hand. So if he uses that jab and throws that right hand with confidence and fast, he could land and hurt him. There was occasions in the first fight where he did land a few right hands that I know Usyk felt. Because he started moving around. So if whatever it takes, in the fight, if I have to tell him what, get on his ass, get close to him, then I'm gonna do it. But if I see that he's doing really good with his jab, everything off his jab with the jab and the 1-2, then we're gonna continue doing it. It's gonna be round by round. See how it goes.
There's still a lot of fights, for the future for Joshua. Provided that he wins, with the game plan that I have, obviously adding you to the corner. You think that matchup, that big British heavyweight boxing matchup that a lot of people are talking about.
All right. You stop it right there. Now, and that little bit of what Robert Garcia just said, let me tell you, there's some things that is intriguing for this fight. One, if you listen to what he said in regards to Joshua having the height, the reach, the power, the weight, we know that, the size overall. Why isn't he using that? You also heard him say he has every advantage. The only difference may be really is just mentally how he see himself, that he has to be more positive about himself. And these are things that we have pointed out forever, man. Ever since Joshua has, lost and we started to see him look like he's doubting himself in the ring. Also, he said something that's key. I've been saying this when you watch that since in the Usyk fight, the first Usyk fight. What did he say? If he throws that jab fast and with power, with confidence, you notice he said that with confidence. That's what was missing. Joshua can't hide when he gets frustrated. You could see it all over his face, his body language. He was just sticking his jab out, almost like he was scared to throw it. Like, should I be jabbing now? Should I be throwing the right? What should I be? He looked like he didn't know what he was supposed to be doing. He didn't know what would work. You could clearly see him like just unsure of himself. And his punches looked super slow because he didn't know what he should be doing. You could see it. Robert seen the same things. And he's saying the same exact things that I've been saying about AJ. Many of us have seen it. This is not about the sarcasm and Usyk's going to do this. No, this is looking at what he needs to do, right? So for him to say, and he said that, everything in camp, the chemistry's been going great so far. You don't have to give away your game plan. I don't expect him to do that. I don't think it's wise for any, trainer or fighter to give away their game plan. But like he's saying, if Joshua does this and this, now Robert could sit here and say, "Oh, we're gonna knock him out." He said we're gonna go do our job, but he can sit here and say what he wants. He can sit here and say this is gonna happen, and then promise all these things. He's not the one in the ring. Joshua is, and Joshua has to deliver. But I've heard Robert Garcia talk far more confident in other fighters going into other fights. That don't mean he always won. You understand? Because they didn't. But he doesn't sound like, he sounds like, look, I have a job to do. Joshua has a job to do. The chemistry's going great. But it's that, damn, is AJ, does he have it in him that if things get tough, does he have that mental toughness? Can he tap into that? Does he have that dog in him that, man, we gonna go in here and scrap? Like, I'm not going back down. I'm not afraid to go in here and do what I have to do. That's what people really want to know. You're not going to know until he gets in there. But that, just listening to what Robert Garcia has said, it doesn't sound like he's doubting Joshua. But because one question I was wishing that, this is a Fight Hub TV interview, I was wishing that the reporter would have asked him is, do you see any change in Joshua from the time you started to now? Like, do you see the actual, like, really a change? Do you see, like, he's sharper, he looks better than what he looked like in the beginning? He's saying he's training hard, he wants to win, he understands. But what I'm saying, you don't hear Robert Garcia saying, no, AJ looks really fresh, he looks good, he looks sharp, he's doing everything that he's like. No, you can say all of that. We heard Malik Scott say this thing about Wilder and all that. I'm not saying for him to say things that's not true. But what I'm saying is, if he's not saying these things, it kind of makes you think like, damn, how much progression has AJ really shown, right? And I always said, if AJ just believed in himself, that's the thing is in here. It's mentally with AJ. Because he has everything he needs. It's in here. Okay? And the worst part about when you doubt yourself is when you start to get fatigue. You get mental fatigue first. It's stronger than when you get physically fatigued. Because mentally, you get to the point where it's like, damn, You start doubting yourself. You don't know what's going to work. You don't trust what's going to work. Then you start to fall apart, right? And overall, you want out, but you don't want to quit. Like you see that in so many fighters. And this is where, like, a lot of times, two guys might look tired, and out of nowhere, this guy gets his second win, and he just starts going like, maybe his confidence come because he's starting to see his opponent weaken. But at the same time, it's in them, and I think that that's what people want to see. But that's the question, because you don't know going into this fight, does he have that dog in him? Because honestly, um, like he said, if he has to tell him, hey, look, get on his ass, because I would tell AJ, man, look how fucking big you are, man. You 6'6", 250 fucking pounds, and you got this little motherfucking head chasing you around the ring like he's the big dog, like he's fucking Tyson, and you're Terrell Biggs or something. Man, you don't beat his little. Look, seriously. I mean, like fuck all that. Oh, it's easier said than done. It, yeah. But at the same time, that's what happens when you doubt yourself. You too fucking big to be letting this little motherfucker chase you around the ring, man. And I'm not talking about so much about because you're taller, just taller. Usyk, look, is not a big puncher. Usyk is a volume puncher. He has to, put it on you, wear you out over time. He said something about Usyk. And it, like I told you guys before, I saw a video. I'm not talking about somebody telling you what Usyk. I saw the fucking video. Okay? And the guy that was trying, look, Usyk basically, I'm not even going to get back into that, but Robert Garcia said he noticed, even though AJ's way bigger, he noticed Usyk still looks like a little too bulky for like what we've normally seen him. Usyk has been coming in the ring 216, 215. For Usyk to come in 230 something pounds, right? He said, I don't know if it's because he hasn't been training. He's been over in this country for the war and all that, or if he's just bulking up to, fight a different type of fight. Common sense. If you're bulking up, you don't plan on moving as much as you used to. And that means he really has no respect for Anthony Joshua's power or his ability because he feels like Anthony Joshua is mentally weak. You're not going to bulk up to be faster, right? So, if anything, you want to be lighter so you can move more and you can punch faster. Gaining weight is not going to help him. So, like he's saying, if he's going, bulking up on purpose so they can, to bring a different type of fight, so you want to go in there and bang with him, okay, then we're going to have a good fight. But if he's like trying to burn, if the point is to burn weight off, he got a lot of work to do because you still got 2 months to go, basically almost 2 months to go. When looking at from now to it's June, so you got 2 months to go, late June right now. So he's saying if he's in the process of burning weight, then he has a lot of work to do. So my thing is, I told you guys, being bulky doesn't mean you're in better shape. Now we know, just take for example, Deontay Wilder bulked up against Fury as much as he could, where it wouldn't affect him being able to get his offense, and do what he needs to. But basically to be able to like have resistance to Fury trying to put his weight on him, he needed some power. But what Deontay did wrong, he has his legs and thighs are scrawny, man. He's 6'7", so 6'7" at 231, and it's weird because it's all upper body. You see it. His legs. That's what he needed. He needed to balance that to where he strengthens, gets his legs strong, because that's where you're pushing from. You got all upper body, them skinny legs. That's not helping you to be. It didn't work because Fury still did what he did, but 231 didn't make Wilder punch harder. It didn't make him punch faster. It basically just, he just came in there heavier. He dropped Fury in the first fight 2 times, and he wasn't 231. So that had nothing to do with him dropping Fury. Now, for Usyk, but see, Deontay naturally has a hard right punch. His right hand, that is straight right, is hard. Usyk is not that kind of puncher. So for Usyk, if it's a thing of, like I said, Usyk's words was he's not mentally in the space he needed to be in on this particular interview that he did. Because of the war, his concentration, his focus is not where he wanted to be. But, you know, um, he has to prepare and get ready. So now for Usyk, right? You see him in training. We don't even know, to be honest with you, a lot of times we don't even know how updated these videos are when we see these guys. They might have did a video 2 weeks ago and then just upload the damn thing today, right? So we don't know that. So you see him in the gym jumping rope and, smiling. And does that fucking mean, let's just be real, does that mean that he's been training the way he was supposed to? Because basically, for example, I can walk around here 250. I was 290 pounds at one point. That was on purpose. That was just me eating and training just to see how big I could actually, get. But what actually happened, somebody would call while I'm recording. So what actually happened was when I was walking around at 290, people was like, damn, yo, you fucking huge. God damn. And I didn't like the way I felt. I just wanted to see what it would be like and then to burn the weight to get back down to like where I wanted to be. And I did that. And I was sparring and training and doing things with that same weight. Because of the way I trained, I was able to do things, the same things, but honestly, it felt different. And I wasn't it's like running movements. I wasn't as fast as normally. Then because I play ball all the time, and it wasn't the same. And I said, nah, too big. I don't like this, and I burnt that weight down through training. To go into the ring and fight someone, I'm not going to punch any harder at 290 as I would at 250, 240, 245. I'm not going to hit any harder, and if anything, it'll slow me down. You understand what I'm saying? Because I have an explosive style of punching. And so if anything, the bigger you are, that's not going to be faster. So my style of being able to come forward, walk you down, break you down, super fast punches, angles, in and out, being heavier is not going to help that. You understand what I'm saying? So for a guy like Usyk, who's not a big puncher, that has to wear you down, that doesn't help him. Especially when Anthony Joshua's style is he doesn't walk you down. And he used to, come forward, put the pressure on. So I guess maybe they're expecting him to try to do that. And then again, on the flip side, it could just be he doesn't respect Anthony Joshua. He just feels like Anthony Joshua, I'll break him mentally and I'll break him down. Maybe they are prepared for a better AJ. I don't know. But at the same time, I don't really feel like he's worried about Anthony Joshua, honestly. So we don't know if it really he hasn't been training the way he's supposed to. So being in shape and being in fight shape are two different things. And if he feels like, think about it. Derek Chisora had him running all over the ring. Derek Chisora was just too slow to catch up to him to do any damage. He stood toe to toe with Anthony Joshua. And you heard Robert Garcia, like you said, AJ has crazy power. And the reason why I've heard people say Daniel Dubois hits harder than AJ and all these other bits, because AJ, when he doesn't punch with confidence. He doesn't throw his shots like he knows what he's doing. That's why. That's why before AJ was knocking people out and why now he's not, because he's not fucking confident, man. You can see it. So, like I said, if he learned how to throw swift shots, let me give you guys a perfect example of something. Do you guys remember when Evander Holyfield fought Michael Moorer the second time? Now, the first time, we know the hole in his heart, the situation, and he basically, you could see Holyfield he wasn't right in the ring. Do you guys remember the first combination he threw, like when he dropped Michael Moorer? What was it? A 3-piece. Pop out of nowhere. I'm watching this fight saying if Holyfield put combinations together on Michael Moorer can't fuck with him at all. If he goes in there, pit-pat with him, throw one hard shot at a time and just make the fight harder for himself and make it easier for Michael Moorer because he's fighting him the wrong way, the thing was, could Holyfield do it? Because we don't know his condition. Like, what can he sustain that and not wear himself out? The very first time he threw a swift combination, Michael Moore went down, and it was 5 knockdowns altogether. But he that's what I'm talking about. You can't throw shots like huh, huh, huh. You they got your hands got to move, man. That's what Anthony Joshua doesn't do, and that's what Robert Garcia should have him doing. Because Anthony Joshua, in all honesty, I don't care how big and strong you are. I don't care what your attributes are. If you doubt yourself, you will not perform the way you're supposed to. And that's what me watching this video, I'm just like, yeah, from both sides. I'm not at all saying I don't think Usyk is training. Usyk never said he wasn't training. He would say he wasn't training in the way he was supposed to, like mentally. He just wasn't there like he wanted to be because of what was going on. So even when you see Usyk out here dancing with the people and partying and looking like he having a good time, that's all beautiful. You see him at AJ in the ring, and I'm just looking like, AJ, man, you look like a giant next to this motherfucker. What is wrong with you? Like, this is what I'm thinking. So it's funny because I'm watching this, and I'm just like, man, how the hell did you even let that happen? We know Usyk can fight, but one thing that I've learned, and that's in life, you don't give people too much fucking respect. I don't doubt myself by big up in you. I don't care what you have. I know what I have. So I'm willing to put it all in that fucking ring. One of us gonna die in that motherfucker unless somebody stop the fight. Cause I'm not gonna quit. And I'm gonna be smart and I'm gonna do what I have to do. That is the mentality that we don't see in Anthony Joshua. At the same time, if you notice, Usyk was standing there in front of him. But when Anthony Joshua cracked him and got his attention, Usyk immediately started to backpedal and get on the back foot. Anthony Joshua, I don't think he had the gas tank or the ring IQ to do anything about it. And I think in his mind, he was like, all right, I don't want to gas out and just throw a bunch of punches. But he does not, his ring IQ has to increase. Because what you learn is, when you throw a fast, speedy jab, look at Thomas Hearns. You think Thomas Hearns would have been as effective as he was? Because he threw the jab like often. You think it if he was just pawing with his jab and no, because your opponent had nothing to respect or fear. Hearns snapped that fucking jab out there, man. He snapped it. He had a power jab. That's what AJ needs. So just listening to this interview, I felt like, those things, I'm listening to what he's saying. And like I said, I've heard him talk far more confident in other fighters that he's managed. So just saying, and I know he hasn't been with AJ in camp for other fights up into this one, but from the time you started to now, the progression, have you seen him look like, he's much sharper now than he was? But like he said, the only difference might be that his mentality of how he sees himself. He has to believe in himself more. That is something, even at the press conference, not the stare down part, just the things that Anthony Joshua says, man. Like, I'm going to go in there to do my job. Usyk is going to come to do his job. And it's like, shit talking is not the point. He just doesn't sound, because look, Usyk wasn't shit talking. But Usyk just sounds far more confident in his ability than Anthony Joshua sounds in his ability. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And y'all know me, I'm not into shit talking. I don't respect that shit. You go in the ring, and that's not entertaining to me. Going in the ring, I've never in my life watched a fight because of what people said to each other. So going in the ring and making it happen is what it's about. But I think that between the two of them, I just feel like Usyk doesn't really feel like he has nothing to worry about with Anthony Joshua. And if he's bulking up on purpose, if Anthony Joshua starts to crack his little ass, he's going to start to move. He's not going to stand there and go toe to toe. He gets hit, he's going to move. And this corner is going to tell him, hey, move. This guy can punch. This is what Anthony Joshua doesn't understand. When Roy Jones fought Antonio Tarver in the second fight, anytime, even in the first one, but the first fight, the second fight, he got knocked out. The third fight, the first fight and the third fight. Roy Jones won the first fight, of course. It was it was closer than what you never seen Roy in a fight that close because we know what the situation and what happened. But if you notice something, whenever Roy Jones' hand now Tarver was walking him down, Tarver was the one on the hunt. Whenever Roy Jones' hand started moving, Tarver completely stopped punching and covered up. He didn't want to brawl. He didn't want to go. He didn't want to do that. He not fast enough to do that with Roy. Now you can cut a shot, catch him and cut him off in time, with timing. But Roy Jones just didn't believe in himself. That's the whole point of what I'm saying. Because Roy Jones didn't do anything consistent in that fight. First fight, he was sucking for air and he fought. He did what he had to do. He won. That was the best fight. I didn't like the second fight. He was doing, went in the first round. Second round, he got knocked out. Third fight, he just didn't do much of anything. Slapped his shoes, stuck his tongue out, shook his head, and didn't really do anything. But whenever he would start to let his hands go, Tarver just covered up and backed away. No different. No different. Anthony Joshua starts cracking Usyk. Usyk is going to retreat. That's what Usyk does. Usyk is not going to stand there and take the bombs. Anthony Joshua just needs to believe in himself. And we have been saying this for the longest. But I just wanted you guys to pay attention to what Robert Garcia said, because those things going into this fight is what still stands out. Does Anthony Joshua have that dog in him? Because if you don't have the gas tank to really load up, stay behind that fucking stick. Simple. Now, he can't be repetitive. Now, if he throw that fucking jab with speed and follow it with that right hand with quick, like Robert said, Usyk will have problems getting in, because he's going to make Usyk start reaching, and Usyk knows he's going to have to take chances and trying to get in and try to get angles. But, when a guy step to his left, you step to your right. You step to his right, you step to your left. Keep that stick in his face. And with that type of reach and height advantage, I don't understand why Anthony Joshua, of all people, we know Usyk can box, but still, shit, Holyfield was ultra talented. Holyfield could fucking box. But look what happened when Holyfield got near with them fucking giants. Holyfield went in there and gave them guys hell. Holyfield, but guys like Bo and Lewis, they fought like big men. Bo fought on the inside. He was good on the inside, and I feel like Bo made the fight harder for himself by fighting like on the inside so much, and he paid for it in his career, because by the time Bo was like 28 years old, he was already he was done. He was done as a fighter. But you can't go in there. And what I'm saying, Holyfield was no slouch. And Holyfield had a different approach than Usyk. Usyk moved and Holyfield moved, but Holyfield wanted to get in there and mix it up. That was his thing. But Holyfield threw punches and bunches when he got in. But he didn't have Holyfield didn't have Bo and Lewis fighting on the fucking back foot. This little motherfucker fighting these big 260-pound, 250-pound guys, and what the fuck are they backing up for? And that's what Anthony Joshua has to establish. I'm the big guy. You're the little guy. I'm going to bully your little ass around. And that's what we want. That's what we're going to find out. And I think that for Anthony Joshua fans, I think that that's the thing that's disheartening to them is they're like crossing their fingers hoping he can win, because he just doesn't sound confident. When he speaks, he just doesn't sound. It's not because he's not talking shit. He just always gives his opponent so much credit to where, like, I'm going to try my best. I'm going to, and that's being honest. Yeah, try your best. You ain't got to go in there talking shit. But he just doesn't sound confident, man. Even his facial expressions, when he's talking and he's explaining things, he just doesn't look confident. Come fight night, he's going to need to have that dog in him. He's going to have the confidence. Whatever Robert Garcia is able to help him tweak, if the fight is not going the way he wants, if Usyk is elusive, because I really, if he let that little guy stand in his face and outfight him, then Anthony Joshua will not win the titles back. And to be honest with you, I'm not saying there's not other top guys that AJ won't beat, but if he can't beat that little guy, I'm just being honest. I respect Usyk as a fighter, but Usyk, let's just be real, man. You seen, like I said, with Derek Chisora. Look, Derek Chisora lose all his big profile fights, right? But look at how Derek Chisora had him running around that fucking ring. But like I said, Derek was just too slow to catch up to him. His hands and his feet was just too slow. AJ shouldn't have that problem. He should not. He needs to go into his Thomas Hearns mode. A fast power jab, fast jab right hand, feints, fake, shoot the jab, bam, go to the body. You know what I'm saying? He's going to have to be creative, but he needs to do this. But he has to believe in himself. And if he doesn't, nothing I'm saying matters. Nothing what Robert Garcia is saying matters. All the switching trainers, none of that matters if you don't believe in yourself. Bottom line. So, never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.